Well, thank you, Roy. The scene set here at Scotland now for a vital relegation battle between Hornets and Rochdale York. Hornets recall the club skipper Colin Whitfield at full back. The three quarters now Phil Fox, Darren Abraham, Matt Callan and Brian Garrity. At half back it's Brett Clark and Steve Gartland. And the forwards in the front row, Bob Marsden, Martin Hall, Cliff Eccles, Paul Cassini and Ronnie Duane in the second row with Mike Queety the loose forward. The substitutes for Hornets tonight are Dave Webster and Paul Eccles.
What did you get?
And now the York side, after the minute silence for the ex-Hornets player Rabubu, one of the exciting Fijians that played in the 60s for the club. And the York side, it looks fairly formidable tonight with Paul Hutchinson at the loose at full-back. The three quarters, Paul White, Ian Bragger, Nick Pinkney and Eddie Smith. There's Gary Pearce on loan from Hull at number 6. He's accompanied by the dangerous Steve Dobson. And the forwards, the solid-looking front row with Ian Favour, Stuart Horton and Richard Hayes. The second row, Jeff Price and Stuart Morris. And the loose forward, Graham Sullivan. Their substitutes tonight in Wigglesworth and Mick Ramsden. Tonight's referee, Kevin Hallett from Southport. Officiated on Monday night in the Silk Cup match between Oldham and Warrington. So not much of a break for Mr. Hallett this week. So we're set now. Rochdale York won the toss. They're going to attack the Sandy Lane end in this first period. Colin Whitfield gets us underway, kicks it down deep. Really is a strong-looking York side with Ian Bragger on loan from Featherstone at number 3. Pearce, as I've already mentioned, is on loan here. York moving it through the forwards at the moment. Being brought up strongly there. Good second effort as well. From the big second row, Stuart Morris, you'll see a lot of him tonight. And the kick goes in there. Unfortunately for York, bounces away from the touchline to Phil Fox. Brought down by Steve Dobson on the pursuit. Colin Whitfield. His more accustomed role tonight at full back. Bob Marsden, we're looking for another strong game from the Hornets prop. The York defence tight at the moment. Hornets shipping out wide. Brett Clark fires it out onto that far wing. Good work there by Brian Garrity, made some good yards. Turns York round on the last tackle. The kick there into touch. Looks like Matt Callan who just tore that one in. Well, looks like Hornets might take this one against the head, and they have done. Good work from the Hornets forward. So Brett Clark moves it out. Garrett's in looking for work in centre field. Ball goes back. Over the interception there's come off, I think, Mike Queety. So Rochdale York in possession, trying to press the Hornets 22. Out there to Paver. The other prop forward now, Richard Hayes. Jeff Price, veteran of the York side. Paulo Cassini makes a hit, but Rochdale York man spins off. Can't make any further progress in the turnover to Hornets. And York there, working that ball back from the play, the ball. So again, Hornets now got to take the tackles. Paul Hutchinson up in the line. Sullivan throws it backwards. Good ball movement. But a knock on underneath, and up to now, Roy, things fairly even.
Yes, not too many chances so far, and York having perhaps a bit more of the possession than we are at the moment. We did well to win the ball against the head in the scrum, but then proceeded to give the ball away on 2 occasions after that. But York showing plenty of commitment. Vital game this tonight. Really, if York go under, I think they may well be in the 3rd division next season. We need to get some breaks going, really, some passing movements going, so no chances really for either team yet.
Thank you, Roy. York have brought a substitution on at that last scrum. Ian Wigglesworth come on the field, not sure who he's come on for, as Hornets make another error. This one from Paulo Cassini. So certainly Hornets not keeping possession on those last set of 6 tackles. And York this time work their own scrum. Ian Bragger. Paul fired out here wide. It's into Paul Hutchinson, up in the line again. Yeah, Richard Aves takes the drive.
We're not looking to bloody close.
Dobson on a run round. In fact, it's dummied well to Paver. The knock-on signalled by the touch judge on that far side. Referee Kevin Allett not happy about that scrum, wants it formed again. And the penalty's gone against Hornets. Feeding the ball, clearly indicated by the official. So Rochdale York going to have a good chance now to put plenty of pressure on Hornets. Looks like it's Eddie Smith who had to leave the field, the York right winger. Good driving tackle from the Hornets forwards. Paver coming on the burst. Coughs the ball up to his opposite number, Bob Marsden. Paulo Cassini. Again, it's a good tackle. Coming in, Ronnie Duane taken down. Ball moved out well. Dummy's being sold there by Matt Callan. Colin Whitfield kicks that one high and long towards the 22. Turns Hutchinson. Stuart Morris again in the action. Ball being worked up that blind side with Sullivan. 8 minutes gone now in this game, still nothing between the two sides. Good break this though from Nick Pinkney. Pinkney, the under-21 international. Hornets don't want to give him too much room. And well spotted by Kevin Allott, forward pass there. But again, Roy, the better ball movements at the moment coming from Rochdale York.
Yes, the ball's been in the Hornets half really for all the games so far. We've hardly ventured into opposition territory. But we need to get, as I always say, a Hornets start to get their handling going. And we need to perhaps put York under a little bit of pressure. But nothing much so far from Hornets to date.
Again, it's a little bit unorganised in the centre field. Cliff Eccles. Again, the ball has gone down. Bob Marsden put it down first. Thankfully, the Rochdale York player saw the open spaces but couldn't gather. In fact, it's been adjudged that Bob Marsden, in fact, threw the ball backwards, so Hornets got the scrum. First running chance for Darren Abraham, quickly covered. Mike Coiti out the back door to Brett Clark. Still no room for Clark. Bob Marsden, driving well. Paulo Cassini. Ronnie Duane. Forward pass that Mike Coiti couldn't hold.
Well, we have got over the half there.
You're right, you will for it, but you must have some damn good eyesight. You missed one or two babies for now.
Dobson moves it on there. Well, there's plenty of space down that far side that York have tried to exploit, and Colin Whitfield looks to have took somebody late. And it looks like also Colin Whitfield is going to get some sort of punishment from the referee. Well, it's the yellow card, so it's 10 minutes for the obstruction. So, Rochdale York found space down that far side, the chip over the top. Colin Whitfield clearly obstructing his man. And York have decided to take a shot at goal. So the first chance for York to put points on the board, and it's down to 12 men for the next 10 minutes. Gary Pearce given the job of kicking tonight. Prolific scorer for Hull, but this one's well wide into the arms of Ronnie Duane. Phil Fawkes. Bob Marsden. Cliff Eccles. Charge down from one of the York players, it'll be play on. And in fact, just offside. So the danger passes there for Hornets. Certainly it looked like a half chance was going to come from that charge down of the kick. Darren Abraham trying to kick the ball clear. So Cliff Eccles makes good ground. Bob Marsden follows him. Clark misses out Kuwaiti. Abrams forced inside, still on his feet. Paulo Cassini picks it up well. Back inside again, but Paul White's alert to the danger, comes inside, takes his man. The kick downfields come from Martin Hall. Still nothing in it, 14 minutes gone. Steve Gartland's the man who's filling in at full-back, while Colin Whitfield's in the sin bin. High tackle there. Penalised. Looks like Paulo Cassini. Pearce can't make much ground with that kick, just takes it to the halfway line. At the moment, Hornets unable to reproduce the form they showed on Sunday. Paver coming from deep, well met. Jeff Price. Dobson kicking over the top. Turning Steve Gartland. Gartland's well down on it, under pressure from Stuart Morris. Back to one. Ball kicked through at the play of the ball. An offside there on the blind side. The centre on this near side, Nick Pinkney, the man picked out. Cliff Eccles. Bobby Marsden. Cassini well away to Martin Hall. Martin Hall looking for the support, he's got it from Bob Marsden, and it looks like somebody else is going in the sin bin for obstruction. And one of the Rochdale York players certainly sent to the bin. It's the number 8, Ian Paver, who's joined Colin Whitfield. So Paver in the sin bin. 2 years ago he went permanently, fighting with Dean Lonergan on that occasion. So on it's a penalty on the 22, and of course Roy, with Colin Whitfield off, the kicking job again in the hands of Darren Abraham.
That's right, yes. So the Hornets at least haven't conceded any points while Whitfield's been off the park. And York could be doing most of the pressing in these admittedly early stages of the game. Might well go 2 points down here. It's in front of the post. And Abrams kicked a few goals recently, so now he has this chance to put the Hornets in front. Our view from here isn't particularly good, I'm afraid, as we've had to switch camera positions. It looks well struck, and there it is. Well, somewhat against the run of play there, but at least it's 2 points on the scoreboard. Back to you, Steve.
Yes, thankfully, Roy, it's on the board first in this game. 17 minutes gone. Hornets Colin Whitfield in the sin bin for just another 4 minutes. Ian Paver's got 10 to spend, so obviously that'll leave Hornets with a man advantage for 6 minutes. So it's up to Hornets now to clear the lines for this set of 6. Rochdale York playing a similar defensive system now to the London Crusaders. Most of the men in one side of the pitch. Sliding defence, trying to get across to cover the wide running. So Hornets have played against this 4 times already. Should have some idea of how to break it down. It's a deep kick, fielded by Hutchinson inside his own 22. Runs it back strongly again. Bragger. Good tackle low down by Cliff Eccles. The kick's going to come down from Dobson. Sends Steve Gartland right down inside his own in-goal area. Fox takes a drive while the forwards arrange themselves. Brett Clark, Paulo Cassini, ships it back to Clark. It's all a little bit static though, in fact the ball's gone backwards. So Matt Callan unable to pick up. Good defence from York, that, forcing the mistake. This should give them possession in a useful position inside the Hornets 22. Good busting run forward. Hutchinson up from full back, trying to find the gaps. Dobson tries to wriggle underneath. Again, it's taken directly from the play of the ball. But Hornets gather themselves well. Turn the Rochdale York player onto his back. It was Hutchinson again who found himself in possession. May have been more useful to have sent somebody like Ian Paver in that close to the line. Use his size. Hornets are going to have to do it the tough way now from in front of their own post. Ball well got out in the tackle. Brett Clark. Well, it was a high-looking tackle, but no action taken. Colin Wakefield slipped back on, immediately kicks that long. Down to his opposite number. Good little move from Paul White, almost takes him through. Stuart Morris slipping. Dobson, industrious as ever, shipping it out on that far side. Kick from Dobson, turns Colin Whitfield. In fact, the ball finds touch. Good kick that from the York scrum half. Takes it back to 10 yards from the Hornets line. So pack going down. Hornets winning that one. Ryan Garrity coming inside, but he's met by, again, some forceful tackling in the York backfield. Ronnie Dwayne. Good ball out by Bob Marsden. Colin Whitfield hangs on to that one. He's put Mike Kuwaiti away. Mike Kuwaiti's got Mike Allen, there's men inside. Eventually the move breaks down, the honest player tackled in possession. Ball being swung out, there's gaps on this far side if Colin Whitfield can exploit them. Darren Abraham to Phil Fox. Fox streaking back inside. Fox still going. Phil Fox nearly goes all the way. Tripped up from behind. Abraham shoots it out to Whitfield on the last tackle. To Brett Clark, spins. Back to Whitfield again. But hectic tackling from York and Hornets lose the ball there on the last tackle. Well, that's the best passing movement so far. Hornets taking the ball 90 yards there in 2 tackles. So now it's time for some big defence. Hull York there. York are going to try and clear the lines with the kick, but Phil Fox is in good position. Abraham. Well, I think York have been penalised as Bob Marsden hit the gap. Unlucky for the Hornets prop. One thing though, Roy, the pass looked as though it might have just drifted forward, so perhaps a good decision for Hornets, the penalty.
Well, of course, if Whitfield can put this one over, it'd be another 2 points in the can, whether Marsden would have scored or not, but it was a good break, so at least we're beginning to get more into the game. That is to say that we're actually in the York half of the pitch, but at least we're looking a bit more promising the last few minutes. So Colin Whitfield with this attempt. There's a good move, as you said before, a 90-minute move down the pitch and only 2 tackles, and really we should have done better than we did there. I felt we made a mess of it, but York with some good tackling, but not that much between the teams at the moment. York have had a few chances themselves, but another couple of points here would do nicely, so I'll just stay with the commentary now. So it's speculation really whether Marsden may or may not have scored from that move, but let's see if Whitfield can make a good job of this. He's struck it well. And he has. Excellent kick by Whitfield, so that's a couple of good goal kicks, so that's something that's been missing in a lot of recent games. We've missed a lot of goal attempts, but that's 2 good ones so far tonight. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Roy. Indeed, that's another good kick for Hornets, as you say. Ian Paver arrives back on the field, so after 26 minutes we're back at 13 aside, and Hornets in the ascendancy by 4 points to 0. Kick-off well collected low down. It's like Bob Marsden who came up with that one. Paulo Cassini. Given back to Colin Whitfield to pump down. This time Paul Hutchinson's well positioned. Runs it back well to the halfway line. Ball being moved across the line. Morris being very well tackled on that far side. Well, that's excellent 2-man tackle from Callan and Brett Clark. The 2 Hornets back, forcing a big forward, some 10 yards back. Takes a good effort. Dobson over the top. Again finds touch comfortably on the far side. This time it's right on the Hornets 22. So, Gatland works the scrum well. Takes it on his own this time. Colin Whitfield gets a good ball out. Whitfield again. This time it's Cliff Eccles well met. Martin Hall moves it just inside the York half. This time Colin Whitfield uses his boot, pushing it down to Hutchinson. Neat bit of football from the full-back. Again, it's strong running from Paul Hutchinson. He's impressed in this opening period. But it's a bad play, the ball, and Hornets have come up with possession. So a chance for Hornets just outside the York 22. Paulo Cassini buried under a three-man tackle. Brett Clark on the run round. Fortunately, the fumble by Steve Gatland stopping the momentum. Whitfield again to Mike Cuiti. Toss back out to Whitfield. Hornets really want to spin this ball wide, but they're keeping it tight with Marsden. York absorbing this pressure well. Last tackle called. Brett Clark spins it into the gap to Darren Abraham, who mishandles. So that'll be the turnover on the 22. So it's not taking that chance very well to put pressure on the Rochdale York line. Ball being spun across to White. Paver. Paver loses possession. Hacked on by Darren Abraham. Abraham hacks on again. The York players are there. And Paul Hutchinson is across well from full-back. And really, Roy, that almost a half chance that Darren Abraham sniffed out.
Yes, it was, and he did the right thing there to kick the ball forward there, and he wasn't far off getting a rather bizarre opening try there. Of course, we saw a try like that here last Sunday against Hull. But Hornets beginning to get the game together now, and it's looking a bit more encouraging. I'll just stay with the commentary. Whitfield on the ball. So we've got 4 or 5 tackles to play with this, Steve, but Hornets certainly getting more into the game.
Yes, Ronnie Dwayne taking it towards the post, Roy. Hornets certainly coming well into the game now. They'll be hoping to add to this 4-point lead before half-time. Colin Whitfield on the miss-out pass, and Whitfield throws the ball long, but it's well over the head of Darren Abraham. Phil Fox, in fact, had gone inside. I don't think Colin Whitfield had noticed that.
Well, he must have thought you were out there.
York scrum again on the retreat. Dobson's been tripped up close to his own line, but offside against the Hornets forwards. That ball only just finding touch. Big tackle from O'Cassini and Bob Marsden. Richard Hayes felt the force of that one. Good tackle this time from Cliff Eccles. On Paver, it's a run-round move with White as the pivot man. Dobson. Up and under, deep one from Sullivan. Kicks it into space, ball bounces. Phil Fox takes well. Escapes a couple of tacklers. Cassini. "33 minutes played in this first half. Still on, it's just clinging to the lead, given by 2 penalty goals. One by Darren Abraham, one by Colin Whitfield. Spun out to Calland. Matt Calland well tackled. The kick downfield, this time coming from Martin Hall. Martin Hall bouncing that ball into touch. Just inside the Rochdale York half. Really one of the features so far in this half, Roy, the strong running of the Rochdale York fullback Paul Hutchinson.
Yes, it's had an enterprising game really, and Dobson, the number 7, he's played quite well. But I've noticed Hornets are kicking the ball a lot more, and getting the ball into the York half a lot more. So that's brought us more into the game. But York certainly working hard and not to be underestimated. But hopefully we'll be going in with a half-time lead, Steve. So we can just notch another try and get our noses a bit further in front. This is what's needed.
Yes, thank you, Roy. Obviously a 4-point gap. Not a large one at all. One attack could more than wipe that out from York. And it's attack they're on at the moment, albeit in their own half. Dobson, that's a bad ball. And the knock-on eventually, despite a valiant effort from Nick Pinkney. So Steve Gartland should set up an attacking opportunity now for the Hornets. Does so. Brett Clark, Whitfield on the run round, but it's straight out to Matt Calland. Bit of space for Cliff Eccles to run into. Cliff Eccles in fact made his debut here at Scotland against Rochdale York earlier on in the season. Had a tremendous game that night. In fact, afternoon game that one. Since we've had so many night games here at Scotland this season. Certainly haven't been many played on a Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So last tackle as Bob Marsden drives it in. Colin Whitfield, that's a high up and under. Everybody's onside. Hutchinson's brilliant underneath it. Breaks clear from defence as well. Well, that's excellent play from so far, I will say, the man of the match tonight. Pinkney's found a big gap there for the substitute Wigglesworth to try and go through. Dobson swinging it out through his hooker there. Again, it's Horton in possession. Handling the ball well, the York hooker. But certainly this is the best attacking move for some while from York. Paver coming on the burst. Paver being allowed to stand and delivering the tackle. Still being moved, it's on the last tackle, but York looking dangerous. In fact, it's the last tackle now. Dobson looking at a drop goal. In fact, he's grubbered it down, but Brett Clark in cover, and Brett Clark quickly sets off Matt Calland, and Matt Calland's got it to Ryan Garrity. The cover's flooding across from this near side, but can they catch Garrity? Garrity's got his hands back, and Ryan Garrity scores a superb try in the corner. Oh, Roy, it came from Brett Clark. Picked the ball up on his own line, saw the opportunity, moved it quick to Matt Calland. Matt Calland onto Brian Garrity, and Garrity winning the foot race up the far touchline. So Hornets now into an 8-point lead, Roy, and that a good try from the Hornets winger.
Yes, it was a sensational try that by Garrity. What a brilliant run that, timed it perfectly, and gives the Hornets a psychological boost. That 8 points to the good. I mean, it's York were very unlucky there, perhaps not to score themselves. But Garrity kept on going, and that will definitely another try for our end of season special. And It's ironic, really. We could have had a similar situation to that in the 4th minute of injury time here against Hull last Sunday. Not going over old ground again. Had Bell have intercepted that pass, we might have had a sensational finish. But a good try from Garrett. He's been in and out of the team in recent matches, and that'll do his confidence a power of good. So Whitfield, a difficult kick, but he's more than capable of putting these over. Let's see if he does it.
Thank you, Roy. Colin Whitfield's lining this one up right from on the far touchline, trying to get on. It's into double figures. Coming up to 39 minutes played in the first period. Whitfield doesn't strike this one too well, but it almost sneaks over. Just comes off the right hand upright. So despite that, on it's into a usual 8-point lead. So Mike Kuiti uses his feet to block that ball. Cliff Eccles. As we go up towards the conclusion of this half. The kick downfield looks a useful one. Turns Paul Hutchinson round, gives Hutchinson another opportunity to strong. Use this strong running style of his. Paul White with a very white shirt. Play taken up to the halfway line. Important for Hornets to give nothing away here. Guilty of conceding quite a few points just before the interval in recent games. Haver operating out wide. Last tackle called. Kick downfield from Sullivan. Looks to be too deep. Colin Whitfield lets it run harmlessly over the dead ball line. So at the interval, with your comments, Roy Nicol, the score standing at Hornets 8, Rochdale York 0.
Well, York will feel a bit hard done by that. They haven't got on the scoring scoreboard there. The Hornets should be full of confidence now. They grew in confidence as the half progressed. And spectacular Garrity effort to finish off. So 8 points on the scoreboard, and I'm sure we're pretty hopeful of some more points in the second half. And I hope you're enjoying the game at home or on the supporters coach or wherever you might be. Second half to come in just a moment. Right, we're now back with second half action, and over to Steve for the commentary.
Thank you, Roy. Everything's set. Gary Pearce to get us back underway. Hasn't really figured much the York standoff tonight. Let's hope that'll be the case at 80 minutes. Bob Marsden first up with the ball. Cassini going well, gets the ball out of the tackle. That's what they're looking for from the big New Zealander. And Colin Whitfield kicks well downfield, takes the ball into touch on the 22. So the York forwards making a long trek back. So let's see if Hornets can win another scrum against the head, as they did in the first half. They can't do on this occasion, the ball being brought clear by Hutchinson, again linking up. Paver. Ball lost though in the tackle by the hooker there, Stuart Horton. So Steve Gartland feeds to scrum. Hornet scrum looking nice and solid. Brett Clark overrun slightly by Darren Abraham. Eventually scragged to the ground. Martin Hall onto Bob Marsden. Ball being brought out, Brett Clark looking for runners. One of the York players intercepting. But I think the ball's going to be brought back. The York player knocking on as he intercepted. Again, Steve Gartland works the scrum successfully. Paver out of the front row position exceptionally quickly. Marsden again coming on the burst, getting it out to Martin Hall. Hall on to Okasini, to Matt Calland. Matt Calland goes down under a good tackle from Wigglesworth. Came in quickly off the wing, snuff out the danger. Whitfield gets it out quickly. Darren Abraham steps back inside. Abraham steps round the cover. Abraham still going, looking for support. Switches it out there to Okasini, to Matt Calland. Again, it's Wigglesworth in with his important tackle. Brett Clark, the Rydell York line, looking a little bit scattered. Mike Kuiti's brought it back for Colin Whitfield. Whitfield to Brett Clark jinking through, throws it back inside, and the ball just eludes Darren Abraham and Bob Marsden. Unfortunately falls into Rydell York hands. Well, it was speculated, but the Hornets players were there in support. A little bit lower than Hornets, it had certainly gone in under the post. But at least the Hornets players starting to regain some of that confidence, moving the ball about. Tackling well on that far side. Darren Abraham. He's got to get across there again. Last tackle already against York. Hornets quickly making the visitors use up that tackle count. Colin Whitfield safely behind that ball. Phil Fox. It's Paul Okasini. Okasini keeps it, hands it on then to Brian Garrity. Matt Calland unfortunately runs straight into Gary Pearce. Clark spins it across, finds Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne to Mike Kuiti. Mike Kuiti turning the defence. But Phil Fox taken down well. Clark, little chip through. Brett Clark kicks it down again, but it's too far. Hutchinson gathers well. Goes on another good run. Really has cleared his lines impressively this evening. Paver. Very well tackled by Cliff Eccles. Copybook tackle around the top of the legs. Chip through this time from Rydell York. Gary Pearce trying to get his teammates in. Ronnie Dwayne drives it back towards halfway. Okasini coming into the game well, Paul Okasini. Brett Clark Ball's eventually out to Brian Garrity, but Matt Cowan's pass was behind him. Brett Clark moves it out. The York defence up quickly. Cassini again, shrugging men off. Gets it to Mike Kuiti. The ball's been kicked along the floor. Fortunately, Phil Fox is back, alert to the danger. And that good play from an experienced campaigner, Roy. Phil Fox ever alert to that danger and hacking the ball clear.
Yeah, well, he did the right thing there, certainly. And the dangerous moment for the Hornets, that. And York must feel they need to perhaps get an early score in this half. Get themselves back in the game, with the Hornets wanting to dominate proceedings at long last. And a few encouraging moves at the start of this half. And a kick by Whitfield, so it's still haven't conceded anything, Steve. That's the important thing. Still York to get on the scoreboard. But I must say, I do agree with you that Hutchinson, the fullback, certainly would be my man of the match overall. He's had an excellent game.
Thank you,
Back to
Roy. York come back on the attack, just outside the Hornets 22. Ball moved in there. Jeff Price has slipped the tackle, and Jeff Price has got it to Paul Hutchinson. And if ever anyone deserved a try, it's the Rochdale York fullback. He moved sweetly into the line as Price shrugged off the challengers. And that certainly put Rochdale York right back in the game. So 8 points to 4 now. The kick to come from Pearce right in front of the post should really backheel this one over a man of his pedigree. So this really does tighten the game up. No mistake at all from Gary Pearce. So that's a disaster for Hornets. Early in this second half. So let's see what sort of influence that has on the game. Kick coming downfield from Pearce, moving the Hornets defenders back. Kicks it well, could just stop inside the in-goal area, could be difficult for Brian Garrity. But he does it well, runs it out. Matt Cowan. Oh, and Cliff Eccles has coughed that up. So this really now is going to be danger for Hornets.
Yes, that's a try for York, Steve. Has certainly given them a lift. And if anything, it's made it a much better game, more a spectacle. York just about to have the ball from the scrum there. But certainly making a bit of a nail-biter for Hornet supporters. York now pressing. The Hornets need to get the ball out of their own 22 as fast as possible.
Well, the tackle count wiped back to 1 there. Hornets kicking through. So Rochdale York with a real chance to take the lead here. And Pavers going strongly from the line. And Pavers burying his way almost across that line. Must just be inches short. York trying to work it across Dobson, but he looks isolated in midfield. Good tackle from Hornets. But Pearce is going to try a drop goal, and Gary Pearce slots that drop goal for Rochdale York. So that's closed the gap right down now, 8 points to 7. 51 minutes gone. Well, certainly it's been a determined revival from York. Hornets now with no leeway whatsoever to make any mistakes. And there's an altogether more determined look now in the Rochdale York running. I think they've decided they fancy the chances of pulling off a victory tonight. One which, although they'd still be stranded at the bottom, would obviously close the gap on Workington and Hornets. Well, one pass too many there. Marsden tries to get things moving on attack again. Ronnie to Wayne. Cliff Eccles takes it up the blind side, makes some useful yards. Brett Clark to Whitfield. Whitfield puts Darren Abraham into the gap. But Darren Abraham's pass goes to the floor, and Wigglesworth, the Rochdale York substitutes, come up with it, and Wigglesworth has sold an outrageous dummy and gone all the way. Well, Hornets really didn't recover from the knock-on from Abraham, and Wigglesworth got up, sold the dummy, and just pinned his ears back and made it to the line. So it's a big turnaround now, Roy, and Hornets in a little bit of trouble at 11-7 down.
Yes, it would appear that way, although optimistically there's still plenty of time to go, but a couple of good counter-attacks there by York, and really they looked there for the taking at the start of the second half, but they've come out really fighting and taken the two chances that they've had. And the Hornets now really have some battle in the hands, making it a very entertaining game, although extremely nail-biting and worrying if you're a Hornets fan. But let's hope the lads can come out on top at the end.
Well, Gary Pearce adds the extras there, so York in a useful 13-8 lead. And those 13 points have come in something like 13 minutes. So Bob Eccles, the man given the job of getting Hornets back in front here, he's replaced Paolo Cassini. So it's 25 minutes to go, but certainly Hornets now making it tough for themselves. I mean, to come from behind in this game. Really would spell disaster tonight if Hornets were to go down to this Rochdale York side. Sure, everyone hoping that they could have got the 2 points tonight. Put a little bit of space between themselves and Workington, perhaps give the players a little bit more confidence. But at the moment, it's Rochdale York who are dictating the play in this second half. Certainly they've taken the two chances they've had very well. Hornets not really had a sniff of the York line since half-time. Colin Whitfield. Callan holding on to the ball, but the York covers are across in numbers. They really do look determined now to hang on to this lead that they've established. Gartland spots the gap. Bob Eccles juggles with it. Colin Whitfield turns it inside to Darren Abraham. Good thinking from Colin Whitfield. The defence was a little bit slow on this side, but they recovered. Eccles, unfortunately, he knocks that ball on. Bob Marsden and Ian Pave having a little bit of a shoving match. Dobson gets the ball out. White putting up the blind side. Pearce hanging on. Kick over the top from Dobson, and that's an excellent touch find there from the York scrum half. Again on, it's a pin back well inside their own 22. At least the Hornet scrum looking solid. Whitfield driving the ball in. Bob Eccles. Needs someone running on his shoulder. Brett Clark. The York tacklers are in solid. Bob Marsden. Head tackle on Bob Marsden as he tries to make the break. Penalty there being called immediately by Kevin Hallett. Good yardage made from that penalty. Marsden on the burst. Gatland on a run round, it's out to Mike Coeity, there's gaps on that far side, it's Colin Whitfield who's making good ground, back inside to Mike Coeity, and the Coeity-Whitfield connection comes up trumps again. Well, that's a good try, the space exploited on the far side, Whitfield made the yards, turned the ball back inside to a supporting Mike Coeity, and on it's back in this game now, 13 points to 12 down Roy. And the conversion really, dare I say, it should be a formality.
Yeah, well, it should be, yes. Colin Whitfield joined the attack intelligently there. And a nice finish by Coeity, just near the post. So it gives us a bit of breathing space at least. So we've been made to feel very uncomfortable by York, but they've got plenty to play with, as have we, of course. We've got to clear ourselves away from the relegation zone, but it was an excellent quality finish, and one wonders why we can't score a few more tries like that. But this hopefully will, or should, put the Hornets into, I think, a 1-point lead if my arithmetic is correct. But it's a precarious lead, Steve, at the moment.
Well, thank you, Roy. Your arithmetic is spot on. That puts us back in front by 14 points to 13. So let's hope that Hornets can calm the nerves by getting the next score. Ball well collected by Mike Coeity, the try scorer. I think this is what Hornets have missed, Mike Coeity with Colin Whitfield coming off in front full back. Bob Eccles. Certainly that's the way to beat Ryder York. Spin this ball wide of this compact defence. Kick will come downfield from Whitfield. Fortunately straight to Paul Hutchinson. Let's see if that tries taking a little bit of the fire out of York. Certainly they were starting to look confident, and that's a rash challenge from Matt Callan. Well, that's a swinging arm tackle spotted by the official. May lead to trouble. Prolific kicker Gary Pearce, I'm sure he's going to have a shot at goal from here.
Yes,
I don't think there's any doubt, indeed, he points towards the post. Well, Pearce, who I've seen kick them all over the ground on the boulevard for Hull FC. Let's see if he can do it for his lone club now, Rochdale York.
Yes, Matt Callan perhaps...
He's placing this ball just 6 yards inside the Hornets half, midway between the post and this right-hand touchline. Side foot kicker, doesn't take too much time. Steps up, it's a vital effort this. But he don't strike it cleanly, it's gone well wide, it hasn't even gone dead. So Matt Callan with a chance to atone for his mistake. So a let off there for Hornets. It's in the 61st minute, and there's another break downfield. Bob Eccles isolated on this near side. Martin Hall back inside from Callan. Brett Clark trying to get something moving. Colin Whitfield. Last tackle, ball just inside the York half. Ball's back to Bob Eccles. Eccles punts downfield. Straight down to Hutchinson. As well tackled by Brett Clark. Clark who stayed down after that tackle. Thankfully Brett Clark now skipping back into position. Didn't need the attendance of Steve Hardman. So Pierce, dummies to kick, stands up. Tries to spin round Bob Eccles. Kick this time comes downfield. Colin Whitfield's over on this near side. Brings it back well. And definitely holding on there from the Rochdale York player. Ian Bragger accepting that decision. A little bit unlucky, the Rochdale York centre seemed to just lose his footing. So the kick takes place inside the Rochdale York half. Cliff Eccles. Switch play to Kuwaiti. To Whitfield. Mike Kuwaiti well wrapped up, but the ball's come out. Gone backwards off Bob Marsden. Bob Eccles down centre field, and Bob Eccles coming out towards his near side, and Eccles scoots it off for Brian Garrity, but Garrity tackled well into touch. So Bob Eccles made the break there. Unfortunately, Roy, nobody in close support.
It's probably fortunate he didn't score there because I wouldn't have seen much, right? So it was a good break by Eccles, certainly. And if we could just touch over again, maybe the game will be safe. At the moment, it's hanging by a thread at the moment. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Roy. As you say, still the game well in the balance. About 17 minutes left. York moving the ball around to Bragger. It's right over the top. Wigglesworth, the try scorer. Passes it back inside. There's good movement, good support still out here for York. It's with Bragger again. In fact, it's Sullivan, the number 13, who's got there in the line. But the danger eventually snuffed out by Hornets. Bob Marsden. Mike Kuwaiti. Good ball to Cowan, well tripped up. Bragger on his way through, just got a hand on his ankle. Brings up the last tackle. The kick from Brett Clark's gone straight into the hands of Stuart Horton. So Dobson tries to get York moving. Look to have the numbers on that far side. Pierce with a good inside ball. Again, it's Hutchinson, the full-back, and Hutchinson's put one of his colleagues away on that far side. The ball's still going there. And what's going to be given on this far side? And in fact, the try's been given in that far corner. Well, it was a little bit of a scrappy one. The ball went to ground. It was picked up though. And it's Paul White who's been accredited with the score in that far corner. Certainly the corner flag went out, Roy, but obviously the York winger must have got it down.
Yeah, well, had we been in our normal gantry position, we've had a perfect view of that, but this is one of the problems we've got currently. But yes, as I said, the game was hanging on by a thread really, and York edged themselves in front, and they've played pretty well in the second half. But Hornets mustn't throw in the towel at this stage really. Such a vitally important game in the relegation zone. This is a difficult kick, an important one though, but this goes over. We'll just stay with the commentary. It's been quite an entertaining game in the second half particularly, but from Hornets' point of view it's becoming a bit of a cliffhanger, and that kick well short. So the Hornets have it all to do, but let's see if they can show some of the spirit they showed against Hull last Sunday. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Roy. Indeed, Hornets are going to need plenty of spirit from here on in. There's just about 12 minutes of this game left. Rochdale York back in front, 17 points to 14. So a penalty won't be enough. Hornets have got to cross the Rochdale York line. And I'm sure Rochdale York will just play it simple now. Kick downfield, try and eat some time off the clock. I don't think there'll be too many thrills. And that won't help the Hornets' cause. Penalty conceded for the high tackle. Bob Marsden, the offender. So I don't think York will take too much time to try and press home their advantage now. White. Paver, crossing given though as he ran behind Jeff Price. Colin Whitfield finds touch. Bob Eccles. Ball put down by Ronnie Duane. Hutchinson again, alert to try and get the action moving on that far side. Again, it's a good run from the York full-back. How many times we've said that tonight? Sullivan getting away from the tackles. Well, Sullivan making good ground. Eventually, Matt Callan gets back in cover. But Sullivan's taken play well inside the Hornets 22. If Rochdale York score here again, it surely must be curtains for Hornets. Well, it's a drop goal effort, and again it's well slotted. This time I think it's gone to either Dobson or Horton, I can't quite see. Yes, indeed it is. Steve Dobson, the scrum half, who's put that one over. So that's an important kick with 10 minutes left. Stretches the lead out to 4 points. Hornets now have to convert the try to get in front. Well, Rydale making a bit of a meal of that kick-off. The Mealy Hornets now have got to try and pin them down. But the clock stopped.
In play, there's a bit of an injury hold-up. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Roy. Play stopped quickly there as the man went down. So Hornets trying to hold York, trying to force them to kick from close to their own line. Hoping that they can run it back into a decent position. Haver with a big drive. Last tackle, Colin Whitfield ready, back on his own 22. But the kick goes past Colin Whitfield, it's well angled, and it's an exceptionally good kick under the pressure. Hornets, well, that last stoppage replaced Ronnie Dwayne with Paulo Cassini. And the substitution on the York side is Mick Ramsden coming for Paul Hutchinson, and a good hand from the Rydale York full back there from the Hornets crowd, appreciating the good running he's done tonight, and I think without doubt definitely the man of the match today.
What is that?
So on, it's now time running out for them. Need a try to tie the scores up. Of course, these two sides already drawn once on the visit to Monk's Cross Stadium. That was Rydale York's first point of the season. This would be the first away win of the season, were they to bring it off. And they may do now because the kicks come through from Ramsden, but Colin Whitfield's back in cover, and Whitfield avoids the tackle as well, brings it downfield, but it looks like he spilled the ball, and Rydale York have come up with it. So Whitfield falling awkwardly, letting that ball slip from his grasp, and Rydale York with a real chance now to finish Hornets off. I wonder if they'll try and set it up for another drop goal. They're driving it towards these posts. I've already seen drop goals from Pearce and Dobson in this second half. But the ball spilled by Ian Wigglesworth. Don't think his teammates will be too happy about that. The feed again. Going to come from Steve Gartland, the Hornets scrum. Solid as ever. Didn't give Steve Gartland a good ball that time though. And Hornets now really, to a certain extent, got to throw a little bit of caution to the wind. Should really be looking for Bob Eccles to try and put somebody through a gap. It's the other Bob in possession though, Bob Marsden, driving it up strongly. And not straight at the markers against Rydale York. So Brett Clark takes that one quickly. York still offside. Brett Clark again takes it quickly, does the right thing. Brett Clark jinks through. Well, good play that from the Hornets standoff. And the Hornets crowd find the voice again, one final effort. Colin Whitfield takes a high ball well. Inside the last 5 minutes is Bob Marsden. Takes it up towards the 22. Takes a long time to play the ball though. Eccles trying to suck the defenders in, can't get the ball away. Gartland with Clark, Gartland on a run round. Darren Abram. Last tackle. Brett Clark puts it up. There's plenty of Hornets men underneath it. But it's in Rochdale York hands. Well moved wide by York. They found the space on this far side. And it's a good run that's taken them clear of the line. So this is where the Hornets tackling needs to be at its stiffest. Substitute Ramsden. Ball floated out to White on that far touch line. Last tackle, but importantly York have moved it out to their own half. The kick downfield again, it's a good kick, but it's found touch. So Colin Whitfield gets the man of the match award. 3 minutes left is the signal from the timekeepers.
I think the crowd have been a bit unfair with the sponsors because it's not an easy decision to pick the man of the match. I think Colin Whitfield's had a pretty reasonable game out there, and the sponsors had a thankful shot. It might have been better to have an overall man of the match, and that would have gone to Hutchinson, beat Rochdale York forward, but that's not how they do it. Looking for Hornets man of the match, and I think whichever Hornets player can score and win the game for us probably would deserve that accolade, Steve.
Yes, but at the moment Rochdale York are tackling well. The last tackle's come up, there's only a minute and a half left. Darren Abram breaking through. Abram's got it on to Steve Gartland. Steve Gartland looking for support, it's to Abram again. Again they've coughed it up, but unfortunately it's all the way back to Whitfield. Colin Whitfield on the last tackle. He's got it to Mike Kuwaiti, but it's all backwards at the moment. But Kuwaiti sees open space in front of him, and Mike Kuwaiti gives it to Matt Cowan. And Cowan down the back door again. It's to Garrity, it's all frantic. And eventually it falls to Rochdale York. Well, Hornets try valiantly there to keep the ball alive, but to no avail. And really, this could be the worst defeat of Hornets season so far. It really does put them deep into relegation trouble. Faber, he's been strong all night, and Faber drives it forward, and Faber drops the ball, he's kicked on through Rochdale York. But it's brought back for a top 22. But I think it's all going to be too late now for Hornets. It really is going to need something spectacular to bring this one out. There's very few seconds left on the clock. Bob Eccles looking for men, but there's no one there. Darren Abram again trying to get loose. Colin Whitfield. 3 tackles gone. Bob Marsden. Marsden making good headway. Marsden keeping his feet.
Paul getting a bit desperate now, see, the last seconds of the game.
Picks it up on the bounce, gets it to O'Cassini. Paul O'Cassini shrugging men off to Garrity, Brian Garrity. Score of that fine try, but it's all in avail as Rochdale York wrap up the first away victory of the season. And well, they deserved it. Came back from an 8-0 deficit at half-time. Have scored 18 points in the second half. And really, Roy, no one can take it away from the efforts of people like full-back Paul Hutchinson, scrum half Steve Dobson, and also Gary Pearce at standoff. And really, they've come here to Scotland tonight, grafted hard, and are taking the 2 points back over the Pennines.
Yes, that's quite right, Stephen. I think York have thoroughly deserved to win. And they've really showed some firepower in the second half. And Hornets, well, where do they go from here? A home defeat, and now we really have something to play for now to keep in the second division. When you think that the same players, same squad were playing so well in the Lancashire Cup, and we beat York, of course, by nearly 60 points at the start of the season. It shows that the confidence, and that's all it is, I think, that is sadly lacking. But all credit to York, they've come here and shown that they haven't thrown in the towel as far as staying in the second division is concerned. Right, well, I'm sure York supporters have enjoyed